My name is Samantha Miller. I am a fifth year on a COVID year. I first learned about this sport and learned about going into college rifle through my brother. He did it through ROTC in high school and then took me along to try it out. And ever since then, I've been in love, and I knew that that's what I wanted to do in college. Some of the biggest lessons that rifle has taught me has been a lot of patience and a lot of mental practice. There's a lot of mental involved in our sport, so being mentally tough and being able to take on all the challenges that I'm presented during the sport has been an amazing thing that it has taught me. So the mental aspect of shooting is actually about 90% if you were to put it on a scale, of over 10% of technical. And it is a huge part of everything that you do. Your mental determines the rest of your match, determines the shots that you're going to take in the future, and determines overall just how the whole match can go for you. Some of the biggest lessons that rifle has taught me has definitely been to be a team player. You definitely, even though it's more of an individual sport in some people's eyes, you still have to play as a team because you're still all here trying to accomplish the same goals. It's taught me a lot of hard work. I have a big drive, I would say now, because I have worked so hard in this sport. It makes it a lot easier to work in school and work on things that are really important to me. I love this sport for many reasons. I love this sport because it is always challenging. Every time you figure something out, something else happens and you have to figure out how to overcome that. So dealing with those challenges has been something that I love. Also traveling. I'm a huge traveling person, so being able to do that and learn all these new challenges and overcome them has been a great aspect of my life. My main decision on signing on to UTEP was that it is pretty close to my home. I'm from Los Alamos, New Mexico, so it made it easier for me to see my family and my friends, and also just the community down here. I knew it wasn't going to be a huge culture shock coming from New Mexico, and also just the community itself. I mean, looking into UTEP, it looked like a great school to go to, and it looked like a great city. So the pandemic definitely took a toll on our sport. You know, for a while we were having to make a lot of different adjustments that we're not used to, such as trying to wear masks or putting up barriers in between lines. And for me as a senior, it was really kind of stressful because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. My mom didn't get to see my last match or anything, which was hard. So being able to come back and just try to restart that and try to work through these challenges and get a good ending year has been an awesome thing for me. Yes, so being a fifth year is a little awkward because it's not normal. Usually in our sport, it's usually, unless you redshirted, you're usually out in 4 years. So being able to meet, you know, our new freshman, Sydney, I'm really close with all these girls. They've been here through thick and thin for sure. So being able to build that family bond and sisters, that's something that I'll definitely miss when I go. So my personal achievements has definitely been moving over into college rifle from high school was a little different. Going into 60-shot air instead of a 3x20 was definitely a challenge. Going into small bore in general from just air rifle through position. But I've hit a lot of personal bests. I've hit 2 air rifle personal bests this year. So I'm really excited to just hopefully keep improving for these last few months that I can, and hopefully just hit some more personal bests and have more fun. During matches, I keep myself focused by listening to music. And for me, and it's different for every other shooter, I try to let my subconscious do most of it. If I start thinking about it too much, I start to stress it out, and then it causes some unnecessary issues and errors that don't need to be made. So I try to just relax and have fun and just remember that it's one shot at a time, and whatever's already down the line has no effect on how the rest of your match will go. So just refreshing that mental state and just having fun is the most important part. Yes, so before I get on the line, I like to stretch. I also like to listen to music to try and just get myself into a focused mode. A lot of people like to call it a match mindset. I do that so that I can focus on what needs to be done and try to keep my brain from going crazy with all these thoughts and all these what ifs. Then when I step onto the line, I kind of just remember my shot process. So I just take it one shot at a time, follow through with the shot process, and everything will go great. This is a question that I get asked a lot. My personal favorite is air rifle. I feel like air rifle has definitely been a big improvement for me, and I think it is more fun in my personal. Small bore is always a fun sport, but for some reason my heart is just in air rifle. Some of the biggest challenges that us rifle athletes have to overcome is it's not a physically intense sport, but it is very mentally intense, and we still feel drained just as any other athlete does after a match. Having to stand there in a stabilized position for 4 hours, holding a 15, sometimes heavier pound gun, definitely it seems a lot harder than a lot of people think. And I think just trying to do the best in our sport with our mental and trying to keep ourselves healthy for sure. Facing off against people that are tougher than you is definitely a hard thing to do in the moment, but when you reflect back on it later, it's a good thing to do because there's always somebody out there who's pushing you to do better. So most of the time when I'm going against these higher schools, I see other people doing things that I want to achieve, and so it just gives me a little extra push during practice. So my family is definitely the biggest option. I have a lot of influence back at home with my brother shooting before I did. He's been a huge help into this sport. But my biggest cheerleader is definitely my mom. She comes to almost every home match. She's always watching when we're away. She always wants to know how practice is, and she's just a huge support in my life. Miner Nation, we're here. Not a lot of people know about us, but we need your support. It would be awesome to have you guys come to some of our home matches so you can learn about such an extraordinary sport that not a lot of schools have. You guys are a great community, and we want to help by showing our miner spirit to you guys. Picks up, miners.